Hiya, I'm Rachel, and I'm doing this section on what I wish I'd known before starting my second year. So I've just finished second year, I'm going into third year now, so fairly qualified on the subject. So the first thing is that this year actually counts. Maybe you took first year seriously, I can't really lie, I don't think I did. But now is a good time to start getting on top of things. Most importantly, make sure that you have a way to keep track of like what tasks you have to do and when things are due. As soon as you possibly can. Avoid the awful first few weeks I had where I was just going, from lesson to lesson. I had no idea what I was doing. Like get yourself a journal, get yourself a planner. Google Calendar on your phone is even a good idea. Like make sure that you know what you have due and when, so that you're not panicking. The other thing that I would say is to assign yourself some working hours. So, for example, I always try to go to the library at least before Fizbar shuts at 2 p.m. and then I go home at tea time, which will be kind of like, 6 or 7 o'clock at least. Sometimes I come in a little bit earlier, but it's really good because I find that it gives me some structure to my day. It makes me do some work because, like, I can't go to a coffee shop at 3 p.m. because that's when I'm meant to be working in the library, that kind of thing. And also it makes me stop doing work because if I've gone home from the library, I'm not then going to carry on working at home, for example. I also have things like a no work after tea rule. So I'm not going to be like working late into the night and not getting any sleep because that's not really good for anyone. Other things, so common opinion and my opinion has it that the mathematical physics unit this year is the hardest one, like that you have this year. So I think maybe, just kind of prepare for that. It's not awful, but it's very doable, but it is difficult. So the main advice I would have is make sure that you do the problem sheets and the practice questions. I feel like this unit is quite hard to pass by just learning the content. You kind of have to be able to apply it and kind of understand it to the best of your ability. So yeah, I think if you are able to kind of understand the reasoning behind a lot of the maths in this unit, then it will stand you in really good stead for the rest of the year because like a lot of the concepts that are taught, for example, in like quantum mechanics and stuff, are kind of built off of that unit, if that makes sense. So yeah, labs as well is actually really different this year. So I mean, you may already know, but you get 4 week long experiments and just a lot more independence. So you're kind of the lab scripts are a lot less structured. You're kind of encouraged to sort of go off and like sort of research things and like just test things out. Be like, oh, I wonder what happens if we do this, and like just collect the data and look at your results and try and relate it to the theory, that kind of thing. Assessment is also by interview rather than just like looking at your lab books like it is in first year. Interview, sounds really stressful. Honestly, it's so much better than when they just assess your lab books because you're kind of there in the room with the person who's assessing you. You can talk to them, you can explain your thoughts. If you come across something in your lab book and you're like, okay, like this doesn't really make much sense on its own, you can kind of add like some extra context to it. You can be like, look, this is why I chose to do that. Like this is sort of the thought process we had. Oh, it actually turned out that this didn't really work that well, but like here's why, here's how we could fix it, here's how we did fix it in the next page, that kind of thing. So it's quite nice because it's a little bit more interactive. The important thing that I would say is to kind of brush up on the theory of the experiment before your interview, because like in my experience, the interviews are much more centered around the theory behind the experiment, and they want to know kind of like, well, why did you like do this method? Why did you do this? Like based off of the theory, how do results sort of show these aspects of the theory, that kind of thing. They're less interested in going, oh, we did this, we measured this, we graphed this. Like they don't kind of want the step by step, they want the reasoning behind it. And if you do that, you're going to get better marks out of it. So like you can't really go far wrong. As well, you're going to have PASS sessions this year, which stands for peer assisted study. They're kind of worth going along to. So they're led by like older year students, so third and fourth year students. And yeah, so like if there's stuff that you're struggling with, especially PASS leaders are often like willing to plan sessions on certain topics if you sort of ask ahead. They're really good for kind of just like collaborating with your peers as well, getting to know people on your course if you don't know people already, that kind of thing. Like working through problems when it's coming to exam season, you might look at past papers together, you might be looking at like the problem sheets and stuff. So it's like a really good thing to go to. Also, you often get free biscuits out of it, so like we love that. And then probably the most important thing is give yourself some time off. Personally, I don't work on weekends unless I've got something due. And make sure that you make time for like societies, hobbies, your friends as well, because like it would suck to just do a whole year at uni and just work and work and work and work yourself to death. Like we don't want that. Like go out and have some fun as well. That's what you're here for as well. So I hope that kind of helps you to like get prepared for second year, I guess. Thanks, guys.